Well, Blackburn Rovers continue their crazy win-loss streak with a big, fat, hairy loss. That's right. The streak remains in flux. The matrix remains unbroken. And Rovers take the big, fat L on this one. That's right, losing that on the road at the DW. 1-0 loss in a game that will be easily forgotten in my memory, as it was a shambolic, toothless, eventless, scabby little 1-0 loss. Do Wigan deserve it? Probably not. I think a draw would have been fair as well. I think it was pretty much even Stevens, but only for a nightmare calamity at the back. I think Tyler Morton was the man who, if we're going to be harsh, point fingers at for fault for blame here, but it could have been anybody. It could have been anybody at the back. Not really at the back, but in midfield, I think maybe Scotty Wharton was involved, a bit of a clanger, but really Morton was forced back, tracking back with the player, and of course Wigan took a full advantage. Keane with the little assist, and Broadhead with the goal, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm in a bit of traffic, so you might get a bit of a long-winded rant here. I can't really see the chat, but 1-0 loss in the end, which doesn't really. There's a lot of ramifications for this. Of course, we continue the streak. The streak goes on. We go again Saturday, where I will have to be the man to try and change it around when we take on Middlesbrough at the Riverside. Meanwhile, no Nyambi today, which was probably a good thing because, well, just would have added extra salt to the wounds. I don't know why he wasn't even involved in the squad completely. So he wasn't in the start 11. He wasn't even on the bench. So I don't know what we can read from that. As for Rovers, again, no Dak in the starting lineup. He had to settle for a 9-minute cameo, and of course that cameo was not long enough. Again, Hurst got the start, Smodic continued, and Britton on the bench again. Hedges on the right-hand side of a back five. And again, I think it was a pretty grim viewing, if I could say so myself. So, not great for Rovers. And again, I know there's a guy out there on Twitter who does a Northwest League table, of course, with the Northwest teams playing each other. Rovers are not going to. They lose their unbeaten streak. Of course, the only one that we played so far was Blackpool. We beat them on the road, but of course, it's just that loss against Wigan. That run against them continues. And again, now the pressure will mount onto Ewood and of course JDT's team to level the playing field when of course these two teams later on again in the season. We did have a couple of chances. There might be even some penalty shouts as well for Rovers in this game, but ultimately we were just a very bad to watch. And it's becoming a bit of a habit of late. Of course, I think we were decent on Saturday. It was good viewing, good goals, or at least the goals were pretty good anyway. So it is, and again, we everyone could easily jump on the bandwagon here and say JDT out, but let's not do that. Let's not be that team. We were seventh at the start of kickoff. We were just within 3 points of top of the table, and of course this is our game in hand, so to speak. Of course now all the other teams will get their own games in hand, and of course potentially push Rovers further down the table than the same. But of course we go again Saturday, and hopefully the streak will continue for another day, and then hopefully we can be back towards the top end instead of being in mid-table. But it is frustrating, it's painful, and it does test you as a Rovers fan to stay loyal, stay with the project, stay behind the plan here, and hopefully it will all work out in the end. Again, if we've got to remember what our hopes and dreams and plans were at the start of the season, where we hoped Rovers would be, and I'd said 12th. I still stand by 12th. You know, if we are to be in around the top end, from top 10 onwards, we've got to keep the faith and believe. You know, if we keep this streak going, win loss, at the end of the season we will be around about 7th. So that will be not a bad takeaway. It'll be frustrating, of course. Nobody likes to lose, but I'd rather this streak than a lot of like 4 consecutive draws. You know what I mean? And I've seen that happen once or twice for other teams, not necessarily in this league, but you know, if you look around the leagues, there are some teams who do go on runs of draws and L's and not really getting the W's. So let's yeah, frustrating, of course. Yeah, I gotta say Tony, but JDT will hopefully hopefully learn from this defeat, because it's a painful one, because we want to settle this score. Wigan, of course, have now continued their home form against us, and it goes, I think, at least a 7th game now. At least it might be more than that, where they're unbeaten against Rovers at the DW. The story is different over at Ewood Park, but you know, that could be said for another teams as well. So let's forget about it, move on. It wasn't great. It wasn't, and I think if you are a Wigan fan, realistically, a deep down in your gut Wigan fan, when you look at that game, you had that one chance and you took it. You took that one chance. It wasn't the best of goals. It wasn't a pretty goal, but it came off of a Rovers mistake. So I think you've got to admit that without that, take that out of the equation, this game was destined to be a snore draw, 0-0. But for whatever reason, the streak continues, and we go again on Saturday, where it's not an easy task up ahead of us. Of course, it is a Middlesbrough side that are struggling, and have yet to find their new manager, but hopefully the you know, they'll wait a little bit longer before making a decision, because you know what, new management and all that kind of stuff. I do apologise for the sun. It is setting here in the middle of Pennsylvania, but of course a little bit later on we'll have a detailed review, take a look at the numbers, hear what the fans have to say over on Twitter, hear what JDT has to say as well. That'll be later on the channel, and of course hopefully we'll have a vlog and some fan reaction as well, where they might be a little bit more bitter, or a little bit more colourful than I am. But I'm just, you know what, to be honest with you, I did feel like a draw. I felt this was going to be a draw, and it looked like it was going to be a draw, but ultimately that one gaff, and I felt there was a gaff in there, but unfortunately we were the ones to take full brunt of it. But we go again Saturday. Of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions about the result, the performance, and I'll put the question out there: is JDT the man to you know, get behind? And I am behind him. Of course, I'm all the way, and to question his position at this stage is redonkulous. We've got to. It's a project long term. You know, it's not good. It's not nice. It's not pleasant. But we've got to give him time. It'll be very, very hasty judging a man barely. You know, we've just cracked the whip on this season, and again, before kickoff, we're 3 points away from the top spot. So let's put any of that nonsense to bed. We go again Saturday. Thanks again for watching. I am live in the middle of course, central Pennsylvania. Of course, we'll be back with some more detailed stuff a little bit later on. But that's it. Smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, get the likes up there, guys, and I'll see you soon for the next.